Hi everyone, the Elementarist here. Today's topic is understanding the limitation of Socionics from the lens of Hekatior's perspective. Socionics as a typological system has intrigued many individuals interested in understanding human behavior and interpersonal dynamics. Developed by Aušra Augustinavičiūtė in the late 20th century, it builds upon Jungian typology and incorporates elements of information metabolism to propose a structural framework for analyzing personality types and relationships. However, despite its initial appeal, Socionics has significant limitations that merit a closer examination. In this essay, I aim to explore these limitations, offering constructive insights while encouraging a thoughtful reconsideration of its use. Origins and rigid foundations. Aušra Augustinavičiūtė's foundational ideas for Socionics were groundbreaking in their time, but they reflect the limitations of their era. While Augusta sought to expand upon Carl Jung's work, her framework often emphasized structure over adaptability. For instance, the concept of intertype relations, ITR, is presented as a deterministic model, suggesting that specific pairings are universally good or bad. This oversimplifies the nuanced and dynamic nature of real-world relationships, where personality is only one of many factors influencing compatibility. If you wish to learn how attraction really works, feel free to read my dating coaching book, The Pandora's Box, The Forbidden Truth About Dating and Relationships.
His second book, Pandora's Box, was totally diverse to all the books I've read on so many relationships. Because as a child, I've been brought up to believe in fairy tales and a man pursuing a woman and all these preconceived idealistic images we have of men. But that does not happen in real life. In real life, it's something else. Actually, those things build our expectations so much, and when it doesn't happen in real life, it's very disappointing. We set up disappointments for ourselves. And what I liked about Pandora's Box so much was the realistic aspect of the book, where the man is confident in pursuing the woman, but self-respecting his integrity. I've been in obviously many relationships myself, and I realized that initially I might be attracted to a man who's pursuing me, and it's short-term sufficient but long-term insufficient, in the sense that after a while I feel suffocated and I feel the man is very needy, and I prefer a man who's self-confident and has integrity, and yet at the same time is simultaneously empathetic towards the emotions a woman has. And that is what I found most intriguing and interesting in this book of his, especially the end, where he respected her shortcomings and still accepted her unconditionally, because he was so confident about himself and his relationships and his manlyhood. It's just a great book, and I think every woman or man should read it with an open mind, rather than the typical idealistic preconceived notions that are sort of put into our heads since we're kids, but they're not realistic. I think this is a lot more realistic. And thank you so much, Alesso, for sharing your knowledge and helping people out there. You have a lot of empathy and a lot of insight, and please keep it coming.
Augusta's psychic processing likely influenced Socionics' rigid structure. Based on my analysis from Hekatior, I have typed Augusta as ORL, UT/N, E above I, neurotic, oscillating conscious psychic libido with T above N. And she arguably had ADHD. She described herself as a perceiver and identified social introverted ethics as her biggest challenge, which might reflect how her system was shaped by her psychological profile. Additionally, her anagram type was likely a social trait of sorts. Augusta integrated elements of Jung's typology and Kempinski information metabolism, rebranding them into an 8-function model with distinct dynamics to track intertype relations. While innovative, this synthesis also introduced a degree of rigidity. Later attempts to make socionics more fluid have had limited success, as the system's foundational principles remain rooted in binary interpretations. Interestingly, socionics tend to attract individuals with specific personality traits. Based on my observation, socionics appeals predominantly to rigid thinkers who prefer structural systems, Enneagram types 3, 6, and to a lesser extent 9, types that primarily track behaviors rather than motivations. This demographic tendency reflects the system's inherent focus on external interaction and static categorization. Overall, socionics makes an ambitious and frankly muddled attempt to compress your full Enneagram configuration, MBTI type, and even sociocultural nuances into a single static label. For example, Trump. You take A.
It's on!
TJ.
Great! Thanks, Vegeta.
You slam it together. You get SRE.
All right!
MBTI TJ8. And the series description may match perfectly. Yeah? Because they're a different system. And they are not young. In trying to capture everything at once, it ends up flattening the depth of each system, reducing psychological complexity to a one-size-fits-all designation, as if nuance were something to be averaged out. The limitation of intertype relations, ITR. One of Socionics' key features is its model of intertype relations, which categorizes the dynamics between personality types into 16 distinct pairings. While this concept is fascinating in theory, its practical application often falls short. Relationships are influenced by myriad of factors, including cultural background, personal values, and emotional intelligence, none of which are adequately addressed by the ITR framework. Furthermore, empirical evidence does not consistently support the deterministic nature of ITR. Many individuals report fulfilling relationships with types deemed conflict or superego by socionics, challenging the validity of these predefined dynamics. Such inconsistencies highlight the need for a more nuanced and individualized approach to understanding relationships. The issue of rigid typing. Socionics' emphasis on strict type categorization can also be problematic. People are multifaceted and adaptable, often exhibiting traits that transcend the boundaries of a single type. By enforcing rigid labels, Socionics risks oversimplifying the complexity of human personality. This rigidity can discourage self-exploration and growth, as individuals might feel constrained by their assigned type. In contrast, my Hekatior system emphasizes fluidity and adaptability, recognizing that individuals might embody different traits in different contexts. Hekatior also considers external factors, such as conditions or substance use, that can affect psychic processing, offering a more holistic and context-sensitive approach. The path forward. While Socionics has its limitations, it is important to acknowledge its contribution to the field of typology. Its focus on information metabolism and cognitive styles has inspired valuable discussions and further exploration. However, it is equally important to move beyond its rigid structures and explore alternative frameworks that offer greater flexibility and applicability. For those interested in typology, I encourage a critical yet open-minded approach. Seek out systems that prioritize adaptability and empirical validation, as well as challenge frameworks that assert universal relevance whilst ignoring personal variability. Conclusion: Socionics is a testament to the human desire to understand ourselves and our relationships. However, as our understanding of psychology evolves, so too must our frameworks. By critically examining the limitation of Socionics and exploring more adaptive approaches, we can better equip ourselves to navigate the complexities of human behavior and relationships. Let this essay serve as good food for thoughts, as well as an invitation to continued exploration in the fascinating field of typology.
I think that's bad. Go to Google.
You serious?
Stay tuned for more.